All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really phenomenal strategic roadmap put together by the AI research firm Disruptivity. They've mapped out the massive future horizons for a global healthcare giant. And honestly, it is an absolute masterclass in how to stay ahead of the curve. We're going to deconstruct Disruptivity's incredibly detailed report on Novo Nordisk. Now, coming off a year of just record-breaking, massive global sales, this roadmap is designed for the current year and maps out the strategic imperatives for the coming decade. Think about it. We're looking at a company at the absolute peak of its power, asking the ultimate question: what comes next? Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The cardiometabolic powerhouse. 2. Ecosystems over episodic care. 3. The future market scenarios. 4. A new strategic mission. 5. Executing the strategic pivot. And finally, 6. Future-proofing your business. So moving right into Section 1, the cardiometabolic powerhouse, a shift in identity. You know, a really fundamental transformation has happened here. Legacy-wise, they were known primarily as an insulin manufacturer, right? But through their breakthrough GLP-1 therapies, which, if you aren't familiar, are medications that drastically impact appetite and blood sugar, they have become a true market maker. They're aggressively pushing the boundaries, moving away from just episodic symptom management into continuous weight management and holistic chronic disease care. It's like they haven't just created a new product, they've sparked an entirely new market category. Now, the crucial concept you need to grasp before we look ahead is this idea of preventative metabolic health. This is rapidly rewriting the economic boundaries of consumer healthcare. The whole focus is moving upstream. Instead of waiting to manage a disease once it gets severe, the market is shifting toward early intervention. It's about actually optimizing your biology to prevent the disease from taking hold in the first place. It's a completely different way of thinking about our human health span. Which brings us to Section 2. Ecosystems over episodic care, changing the business model. Disruptivity's analysis highlights a profound shift here. Future revenue? It isn't going to come from just selling a physical product anymore. The traditional drug-in-a-box approach is basically becoming obsolete. Instead, the future relies on monetizing holistic, patient-centric digital health ecosystems. Imagine, combining a therapy with software, wearable sensors, and real-time data tracking. It's like an ongoing subscription to your own health, specifically designed to guarantee sustained clinical outcomes rather than just brief one-off interventions. Let's move to Section 3, the future market scenarios, navigating disruption. This timeline structures the evolving market landscape perfectly. In the immediate phase, say the next couple of years, the focus stays on treating severe obesity and acute care. But as we move into that midterm horizon, the battleground shifts entirely. We transition to highly convenient oral pills and primary care. Finally, looking farther out into the long-term future, survival demands a total evolution into a metabolic longevity pioneer. We're talking utilizing AI and precision medicine to actually extend life, not just treat illness. But hey, incredible success brings incredible risk, right? Novo Nordisk faces severe impending threats that could render their current chronic care models completely obsolete. We are talking about agile biotech startups, a coming wave of biosimilars, which are essentially generic alternatives, and most dangerously, the existential risk of gene editing therapies. Think about it. If a competitor develops a permanent genetic cure, it entirely erases the need for continuous, lifelong treatment. Poof, gone. And that leads us to Section 4, a new strategic mission, the North Star. I absolutely love this statement from the report because it's just so incredibly ambitious. Orchestrate the global metabolic health span platform. It demands a total pivot away from commoditized symptom management. They need to build an essential proprietary infrastructure for global metabolic longevity. Basically, they aren't just selling therapies anymore. They want to become the underlying operating system for all cardiometabolic care globally, the platform that everybody else just has to plug into. All right, Section 5, executing the strategic pivot, core initiatives. These initiatives really represent a masterclass in future-proofing. First up, building an AI ecosystem. They have to build algorithmic digital networks through powerful AI alliances to handle massive amounts of patient data. Second, local manufacturing. They need to decentralize their supply chains into hyper-localized hubs to insulate themselves from, geopolitical trade shocks. And third, and perhaps most impressively, They must execute aggressive self-disruption. They have to actively invest in the very gene-editing cures that could cannibalize their legacy products. They have to ensure they own the future rather than falling victim to it. Finally, Section 6, future-proofing your business, the disruptivity advantage. Look, every industry faces its own version of a gene therapy disruption or a massive AI integration. The specific details change, but those underlying structural shifts, they remain exactly the same. Which raises the ultimate question: how will your business successfully navigate its own impending market disruptions and future scenarios? Are you truly prepared for your market's evolution, or are you just comfortably riding the momentum of your legacy products? And this is exactly where Disruptivity's unique AI research capabilities step in. By leveraging their management consulting as a service and advanced future scenario simulations, any business owner can actually map out these massive structural shifts. You can use these specific tools to rigorously forecast existential threats, identify long-term competitive moats, and orchestrate an actionable, step-by-step strategic pivot long before a crisis ever hits your bottom line. So I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought based on everything we've unpacked in this explainer. True resilience requires the foresight to disrupt your own legacy before the market does it for you. Are you merely managing today's symptoms within your business, or are you aggressively designing tomorrow's cures?